Hi everyone, it's Dan here from Flexxable, and today we're going to run through some questions that people are asking my free Facebook group, the Pay Per Lead Ninjas. Let's get stuck in. So if you haven't joined already, there'll be a link to my Facebook group here where there's lots of good stuff about pay per lead and performance-based lead generation. I hope to see you in there.
What are the most important components for starting a PPL agency?
All right, so the most important element of a pay per lead agency, I think if you're new to it, is the fastest way you can get going is actually selling pay per lead to your existing client database. All right, so let's say you've been running an agency beforehand and you're generating leads for a roofing company or something like that. And I see this a lot as people come into my free group, into my programs. They're actually really good at it, and they've figured out SEO and they know how to do Google ads. And they've got clients and they're getting, a nice chunky retainer for them. And they also have worked with them for a very long time. Some of them have, which means they're able to, they know the cost per lead they can generate them for. They know the quality of the leads. They know how many they can generate. They know what landing pages work. It really is a very, very simple transition for these type of people to move from, the old way to the new way, okay? All I would advise to do at that point in time is build a brand for your, joesroofing.com or whatever it is that you want to get involved in. And then you can start just generating leads via that brand and distribute the leads to the clients. Okay, you already know the creatives, you already know the landing pages, you already know how much your leads are, already know how the quality. All you have to do is onboard clients at that point in time. It's a very fast, simple, and effective way to get started. If you haven't got the luxury of knowing clients already and having experience and cost per lead and all that kind of lovely stuff, and you're brand new to it, then there's a few things you want to look out for. The first one is the scalability of the niche. There needs to be a lot of clients out there. Yeah, it's all good to be able to land a whale client, to be able to generate hundreds and hundreds of leads per day to these type of clients, and that is doable. But when you're starting out, you want to be able to get some ads up and start solving problems for clients, which means there needs to be lots of those clients out there. All right, so you picture going after insurance agents. There's hundreds of thousands of those in the US alone. If you want to go after roofers or solar or kitchen remodelers or these type of clients, there's just tons of them, and they're all looking for leads, and there's new people coming into the market every single day. So that's what you need to look for. Okay, it's more the scalability of the client base when you're getting started, rather than kind of delivering leads for the clients. You can worry about all that stuff later. All right, you just have to be able to sell to a ton of clients.
Go high-level follow-up question. Trying to balance the fine line of maximizing LTA show rate versus irritating the leads by too many follow-ups. How many texts, emails do you usually send for lead to appointment, an appointment to call reminder, and what would you consider too much for each sequence?
This is a really good question, and it's something that we've kind of really mastered over the years. And the first one is to the question about the lead to appointment ratio. And the answer is that there's no limit. You keep kind of going until they tell you to stop. I mean, this is a sales environment. You're trying to sell them something. You want to keep going until they tell you to stop, right? But the problem most people make is that they just go with the same message over and over again. Do you want solar leads? I've got some new solar leads. Do you want extra solar leads? It's the same kind of hook over and over again. So if you're trying to maximize the lead to appointment ratio for the solar industry, for example, you want to go in with different angles. So the first one might be that I've got some excess solar leads from a red hot Facebook campaign that I need to find a home for. Okay, that's very different to just pushing the same old thing over and over again. The next one could be, I've got some solar leads in New Jersey that need a home. Okay, so you might kind of bring it up on a city specific type SMS or email or whatever that is. And there's hundreds of different ways to slice and dice your kind of outreach message, that kind of hand raiser message. And sometimes they're just going to just ignore the email, ignore the SMS, ignore, and then one day you'll just kind of hit that magic point where it kind of the message resonates with what they actually need. And then you can bring them on to an appointment, and then you're good to go. Okay, so just don't be boring with your follow-up. Be varied and try and think about the different hooks and angles which you're going to get them excited. One really good one is, because we found this, they're always asking for a price and quality, right? So we developed a document which outlines the price and the quality, and we kind of can send that to them. So it's I think roughly 25% of the people that if we send out a message, they're asking for price and quality, and we send them the document, roughly 25% of people will kind of respond to a message that says we've got that document for them. So it's, it just takes practice and experience. The appointment to call ratio, so if you picture a funnel, you've got maybe perhaps a lead ad, you take them through the lead form funnel, and then they go to an appointment page on the last step of the appointment funnel, and then they're booked into the calendar, and there's 2 or 3 days in order for the client to turn up to the call and be closed, hopefully. So the first thing I always like to do when someone comes in like that is this is like, I always call it barbecue conversation, right? So if you can picture doing that at a barbecue with a solar person, and you've booked an appointment with them on your phone, whilst that's happening, while they're sharing a beer with you or whatever, you're going to say to them straight after they're booked in, if anything changes, can you just kind of let us know so we can reschedule you in? So you want to use that same kind of messaging initially, straight after they book, and just let them know that it's cool to change, but please get them to buy in to the fact that if they do change it, they've got to let you know, okay? And that kind of has a weird way of getting them to feel guilty if they do cancel, and it's a really clever way to lift your appointment ratio, show-up ratio. After that happens, then you want to be a little bit less gung-ho with just message after message after message, because there might only be like a 2-day or 3-day window before the call actually happens. So we tend to, kind of leave them to it, and then just use kind of standard messages to remind them that the call's here, and there's nothing kind of too crazy about it, okay?
Is there any better way to lead distribution? How do you guys send leads to the clients?
So there's different ways to distribute leads to clients, all right? So if you picture yourself starting a pay-per-lead agency and you build a brand, let's say you're in kitchen remodeling and you've built Joe's Kitchen Remodeler Leads.com. No, you wouldn't call it that, you'd call it joeskitchens.com or whatever, right? So you've built your brand, the traffic's coming into your brand, you're generating leads, and then then what you do is you want to sell those leads to different kitchen remodelers, all over your country or state or whatever. So the way we teach it in the Pay-Per-Lead Blueprint, which is my kind of flagship program, initially when you're getting started is to have kind of one lead form. We do everything through Facebook lead ads. You would have just one lead form per client, all right? And you would allocate a budget, and you would advertise to that client's location, and you would just, it's just linear. It's just kind of one-to-one, the lead comes in, it's sold to that particular client, all right? And that's absolutely fine when you're kind of getting started out. But what happens over time is that you'll start getting overlap, you'll start getting bigger clients, you'll start getting clients that want different criteria within their leads. For example, I only want, kitchen replacement rather than new kitchen, whatever that is. You can ask these questions in your funnel and then distribute accordingly, okay? And in order to get advanced like this, you're gonna need lead distribution tool, and we use LeadBite for that. They're a UK-based company. The owner, Ant's a brilliant guy. He's looked after, a ton of people inside my community, and I would highly recommend reaching out to them if this is something that you want to get into.
What strategy is used for email and phone number verification?
So the biggest problem that I see with clients with kickback about lead quality always comes down to contact rate. If you're generating 100 leads for a client and they're only able to get in touch with 30 of them, then obviously they're going to say the quality is an issue. As lead generation and performance-based lead generators and pay-per-lead has kind of evolved over the years, what you found is some very smart marketers, including us, obviously, has been able to verify the phone number before it's sold on to the client, and that can be done in a number of ways. First way you can do it is using tools like Twilio and DataSoap, where you're able to, you've probably seen it before when you're filling out your phone number on the form, and if you don't fill out a correct phone number, there'll be like a red cross next to it, and if you change it again, then there'll be a tick. That's kind of like a fast and effective way to verify a phone number. The next one is using tools like LeadsHook. If you haven't used LeadsHook before, I'd highly recommend looking out for it. It's a great kind of survey kind of quiz tool that enables people to hit a landing page and go through and answer questions and then come out the other side as a lead, right? And Nick was really clever and figured out a way to, when someone goes through the funnel and before they can become a full lead, they get sent a text message with like 6 digits or something within that text message, and they have to put those text messages back into the form in order to become a lead. You see banks doing this all the time, and various kind of financial institutions. So why not do it for your lead gen funnels too? It works great. Obviously your cost per lead is going to go up a little bit, but the quality that comes out of it is exceptional. Another way we're doing it at the moment is through high level, where you're able to verify the phone number and get the person to go through the funnel, hit high level, and then go through a verification process where they have to raise their hand and say that I want to call in order for to text back in order for that to be a verified lead that's sold on to the client. Okay, so there's lots of different ways to do it, and it really just does depend on the type of client you're working with. Some clients just want to work raw leads and just hammer them by the phone, and other people might be a little bit more selective and only want to work the highest quality leads that have 100% contact rate, which something like the high level stuff that I was talking about does have. So yeah, experiment. It really is good to be able to kind of get better over time with tips like this.
Using this model, do you charge clients for ad spend or just the lead you send them?
So there's many different ways to charge clients. All right, I've done an in-depth video just here on how you can do this. It's got everything you need to know. But very quickly, you've got, and this is how I started. It's kind of hybrid. We call it the grandfather deal, where you get the client to pay for the ad spend when you're entering a new niche, which allows you to learn on their dime, figure out your cost per lead and your quality and all that type of stuff, and then you can take that intel and use it for when you scale with other clients. So you've got the kind of the grandfather or hybrid deal, I like to call it. You've got straight up pay per lead, where you charge up front. You've got pay after the lead is delivered. So if you're doing verified phone leads, then you can charge their credit card whenever a lead's delivered. It's a clever way of doing things. Or you've got a back-end deal, and I see some people do this that have got deep pockets, but the problem is the client doesn't have much skin in the game. You would generate all the leads, pass the leads to the client, and they'll pay you a large percentage of the sale price when it actually closes, and it could be a week, it could be 3 months, or whatever that is. I wouldn't recommend doing that when you're getting started. But yeah, they're the ways to charge with performance-based marketing, really.
What software are you guys using to distribute leads based on zip code or location provided?
All right, so I've touched on LeadBite earlier on in this video, but it does everything on that you've asked here. It's very easy to kind of, you know, the lead comes in through your funnel, your lead form, TikTok, Facebook, whatever that is, and it's got criteria, including the postcode. You can set up filters, which enables certain postcodes to go to client A, certain postcodes to client B, or you can do whatever you want. It's really quite intuitive. Highly recommend you check it out.
What kind of contact rate do you see for leads on average? Not appointments, but leads that submitted their info from a landing page, quiz, etc. Edit. Contact rate being measured by a successful two-way conversation.
Totally depends on the niche that you're operating in. Okay, so let's say you're generating a debt consolidation lead, and these people are being chased by bailiffs and debt collectors. They don't like picking up the phone, right? So if you're not verifying the phone number, then you're probably going to see a 50% or less contact rate, as opposed to maybe a B2B lead, which is, you know, selling, you know, it could be about getting a business loan or something, which that person really wants, or that client really wants. Then you're going to get very high contact rates. So it totally depends on the niche, but there's different ways to kind of get that contact rate up. Mainly, as I was discussing before, phone verification. You know, what we're doing now means we're close to 100% contact rates with our leads. So if you want to know more about that, then obviously there'll be a link below where you can kind of get in touch with us and we can talk to you more about that. I've created some training, some client getting training. It's an experiment that we're doing over here at Flexxable, where we're only asking, you know, this is our paid training, this is really good stuff, but we're only asking people to pay after they've watched it, okay? They've got value from it. So if you there'll be a link to it. If you watch it, you don't think it's great, then you don't have to pay us a penny. But if you think it's really good and you got some value for it, then please do make a donation, and we'll also match your donation with some epic bonuses that you're gonna absolutely love. All right, so I really do hope you've enjoyed this video today. If you haven't done so already, please join our free Facebook group, the Pay Per Lead Ninjas. There's just some amazing stuff going on there. You know, our content is obviously good, I'm biased, right? But there's plenty of really smart lead gens that are looking for white label partners, that are looking for people to deliver leads for them, that can deliver leads for clients. You've got landing page people, you've got copywriters, you've got anyone and everything. You've also got clients in there that are looking for leads. It's really a great community that we're very proud of. We're very active in there, so I'd recommend you go check it out. Also, if you've got any comments or questions about the Ninjas group or where to find it, then there'll be a link below, obviously. But ask away in the comment box. Like the video so we know to create more videos like this. And lastly, please subscribe so you're the first to know whenever we create a new video. Thanks very much. I'll see you soon.